Hi, boys and girls. I'm excited for this lesson because we're going to use one of our new sight words. It's our sight word, for the week. I always like to review the sight words we've learned so far, and you'll notice we started with one, and right now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. So let me move this in a little bit so you can see these words nice and close, and then we're going to build some sentences. We're going to make some sentences, okay? All right, so our first word that we had, and that was not the first week of school, but probably the second or third week of school, we started with our first word. Okay, it's the letter A, but it's also the word A. I see a word. Okay, and the next week we used the word my. Remember we read the book My Sister? Okay, and the next week we introduced the word see. Remember the book we read, the See a Tail? See a tiger, see a tail? Okay, and this was our word last week. I'll give you a minute to say it. T-H-E spells the. Now, boys and girls, we're practicing these on Zoom. We're practicing them in our workbook. We're practicing them in our little books. It does take a lot of practice to get these words in your brain. You can't sound them out. We can't say t, h, eh. It's just the. You have to put it in your brain. I can spell the, T-H-E. Okay, here's our new one. Get ready. Are you ready for an easy one? It's really easy. What is it? I. Okay, it's not this kind of I. It's this kind of I. I hope you're watching the video. I hope you can read these words, right? I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about Mrs. Jenkins. So that's why when you use the word I, it always, always, always has a capital letter, yes? The other day in the Zoom, I said we had to say it 3 times. Always, always, always start with a capital letter when you write the word I. Okay, now see, these are all lowercase letters. But I is a capital because you're talking about yourself, so it's like writing your name. Okay, I set up some sentences. I have the word I. And we did these the other day. You're going to remember them. What's the little girl doing? I'm going to move this in and put it down a little bit. I'm going to move it as close as I can. Okay. Can you tell what she's doing? She has a book. Read. I'm going to turn this around. I hope you guys remember what that's called. Don't call it a dot. If you call it a dot, I'll say, okay, it has another name, right? It's called a period. So I read. The period tells us to stop. We're done. We have a good sentence. It's only 2 words. We could write a better sentence. We could say, I read a book, or I like to read a book. But we're starting out because we're writing. We're going to read and write. We're starting out back to just 2 words, okay? I read. How about this one? Well, that's another girl. I better find a boy here in my cards. Where's all the boys? Here's a boy. We're going to turn this one around. We have I again. I paint. What do you think is behind on the other side of this card? A period. Very good. That means it's the end of the sentence. I might move it a tiny bit closer. Okay, now here's another girl. What's she doing? Run. So when we read it, I run. Okay, and let me find a boy. Boy, there might be more girls. Oh, here's a boy. What's the boy doing? Cook. I cook. And I know it sounds better to say I cook dinner or I can cook soup, but we're just going to say cook. Okay, that was the boy cooking. What's the girl doing? She's eating. Looks like she's eating a hamburger. Let's read it. I eat. Here's another girl. What's she doing? Okay, now I know she's like a ballet dancer, a ballerina, but we don't say I ballerina. That doesn't make sense. It's an action word. We say the action she's doing, dance. So let's read it. I dance, and we stop at the period. Okay, here's a boy. What's he doing in the water? Swim. So we read I swim. Okay, stop at the period. The girl is giving her doggy a bath, but we don't say I bath or I dog. I wash. Wash. She's washing her doggy. My doggy needs a bath really bad. I know that. I wash. And we stop at the period. Okay. This one says I. Now we don't say I soccer. That doesn't make sense. You can't soccer. What can you do when you're playing soccer? What can you do? You can kick, right? And we know that says kick because it starts with a K. We don't even have to read the whole word. We can just sound out kick. I kick. Ah, remember this one? What's she doing with those balls? Okay, look down here. It starts with a J. Juggle. So you don't want to say I play. Yeah, she's playing with the balls, but it's a different word. It starts with a J. I juggle. Okay. Here are the friends, the boy and the girl. They got their arms around each other. Hug. I hug. And the last one is, what's the boy doing? He's taking a nap, but it's not I nap. I sleep. Okay, good job. So these were our verbs or our action words with our sight word. And those are the ones that the other day on Zoom we got to act out. We could act out those. How would we act out I sleep? Oh, I'm really tired. I might fall asleep if I do this. How would we act out I hug? Give yourself a hug. How about I eat? How about I run? Run fast. How about I read? Read a book. Okay, I'm gonna walk over here. And this is a really fun page. I actually made these pages a few years ago on my computer because I wanted the kids to be able to have some pages to start out really easy before they get onto the lined paper to write the words. Because when the first time we write and we get on the lined paper, it's a little crazy. You think it looks so easy and you say, okay, we're gonna write this. And the kids have everything squashed together. They don't know about spaces. They don't know where the letters go on the lines. So we really have to back off, slow down, and take our time with it. Because if you take it nice and easy and slow and start with 2 words, and then you just build and it just gets easier and easier as we go. Okay, we haven't used this pink folder for a long time, okay? We did use it when I first sent it home. Okay, but we haven't used it for a while, and that's okay. We're kind of switching back and forth to the folders that we're using. So when I open it up, do you guys remember what was inside? I put this in the writing folder because it was for your fine motor skills, to learn how to pinch the pencil and to draw horizontal lines. Now, if you haven't done this for some reason, I assigned it, and I assigned the whole packet. I said you could just do a few pages every day, or some kids did the whole thing all at once. So if you haven't done that, I still would like you to do it. Okay, and this last one was fun. It was making curved lines. So it's just practicing pinching your pencil. Okay, lots of tracing in this packet. So now, if you get this out, I'm gonna go ahead and close this and move it out of the way. The very first page on top, we could just leave that staple in there if you want. But the one that was in the back, the page that's in the back, I put it in the back on purpose so you wouldn't have to take the staple out. You can just take it and tear it off. Okay, so we're gonna need these 2 pages. I'll take pictures of those and put them on the assignment page so you can find it easily. So this page here are picture cards, and they are action words or verbs. And we'll just go over them really quickly. I did show these to the kids on Zoom, and I showed them what I wanted them to do. I just told them I wasn't going to assign it yet because I had a lot of reading things I needed to assign and writing this week. All right, so the boy's reading. She's on the swing, okay? If I told you to act them out, you'd be able to hold up a book and read. You'd be able to go outside and swing or pretend like you're swinging. He's got some skates on. I skate. She's eating. I eat. She's playing a game called hopscotch, so hop. She's jumping rope, so instead of saying hop, you could say jump. The boy is singing. I sing. She's playing on the computer or maybe working. Maybe she's doing her distance learning. I know what you could either say, I work on the computer, or you can say, I Zoom, right? We're all doing a lot of that now. The boy's doing the dishes. I wash. Okay, this boy's diving in the water. You can either say, I dive, or what do you think he's gonna do when he gets in the pool? I swim. This boy's playing a game. I play, and she's painting. I paint. So you see the dotted lines most of the time when you see dotted lines, it means cut them out. I'm not gonna cut them out right now, but you guys can cut them out and pick out 4. Just choose 4. Choose 4 things that you like to do. I chose my 4 because I don't necessarily like to dive, but I really love to swim. I used to go to the pool and swim laps all the time. Haven't been able to do it though. My pool is closed, the indoor pool. I like to paint. I like to, let's see. I like to eat. That's a good one. I love to read. When I go to bed at night, I usually read. It helps me fall asleep. I like to jump. There's so many that I like, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the ones I picked out. Okay, I picked out 4 and I glued them to the boxes. Okay, now I better show you on this page, and I'm going to use a marker. I want you guys to use pencil. Where's my pencil? Here, I better use pencil. Okay, so we're going to go I, and you're going to glue a card down here. You'll put your glue stick here, and the period's already there. I put 1 for a sample, but you're going to glue one of your action words there. And then on the second one, you have to write the word I. Capital I, and you'll glue another one, and now you have to make the period. I want a nice dot, okay? I told kids the other day, please don't make a period just with a tiny little dot. I can't see that, okay? And please don't go scribble and make a huge circle that doesn't even fit in the box, just a nice little dot. And so this one is gonna be I read, and then the one down on the bottom is gonna be I dive or I swim. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote those. I just didn't want to take the time to cut them all out because I have a good sample. Okay, so then then you need to go back and read it. I jump. I sing. I read. I dive or I swim. And that's all you have to do. And what you're going to notice when you do this one, then we also have one for C. Now that we have the sight word I, we're going to do some other ones where we're going to fill in the blanks, and we're going to write in these boxes before we start writing on the paper, because it allows the kids to see that they're separate words and that they have spaces in between. So when they go to write, they realize that they're writing 3 separate words with spaces in between and a period at the end. Okay, that's it. Good job. That was a writing lesson.